This is the story of how I became an atheist. I'm an Egyptian. I was born and raised in Egypt. My hometown of Al Zawiya is about an hour south of Cairo in the province of Beni Suef. When I was very young, my father left Egypt to come to the United States of America to give us a better education and allow for better opportunities. My brother and I stayed behind in Egypt with our mother. And while we were very young, I remember my mother explaining to us, while reading from the Quran or afterwards, how God made everything, how He even made us. And I couldn't help but think to myself, well, if God made us, then who made God? Not knowing at the time, but realizing now that if everything has to be made, then somebody must have made God. Well, I figured I was just a kid and that when I grew up I would understand. I mean, after all the adults in my life believed it. And I was sure that I would too at some point in my life. So I ignored my thoughts and I went on learning about my religion. Learning about how women are inferior to men. I learned about how if you're not a Muslim you go to hell. That you're my enemy. And that you're even evil. I learned that the greatest honor a Muslim can ever have is to fight and kill and die in the name of Islam. And that would surely happen in the soon-to-come apocalypse. When I was 11 years old and shortly before I turned 12, we left Egypt for the United States. I was finally going to be the land of opportunity to reunite with my father. I thought everything would be different. But when I came here, what I found out was that my father had become more religious than he ever was at home. Now that I think of it, I think America scared him. Scantily clad women, homosexuals, Jews, atheists, and Buddhists. So, he immersed himself in his religion, and he made sure that we did the same back home. When I first came here, I was struggling, learning a new language and fitting into a new culture. I received a lot of help from strangers, people who weren't Muslim, who were Christians, there were Jews, there were even atheists. I know of at least one. And I thought to myself, are these good people, the ones that have helped me and asked for nothing in return, are they going to go to hell? What about great men? Men who've advanced humanity. Men and women who've moved us forward. Men and women who've saved countless lives. And great humans, ones that have inspired humanity. Will they all go to hell? What about regular people? Good people, people your neighbors. People that get up in the morning and go to work so can feed their children and help out when they can. People that give to charity and go on about their lives, not hurting anybody. Some even go out of their way, day in and day out, to save others. Some have never heard of our myths. Some have myths of their own. Will they all go to hell? Is it possible that purely by a geographical accident I would be saved and everybody around me in this new place would go to hell? Well, I didn't give it much thought and I ignored it. I went on to high school, and in high school, things changed for me. I made American friends with different religious backgrounds. I met my first girlfriend. We had sex. I ate my first bacon cheeseburger. I learned about evolution and realized that I had made some observations that completely make sense with that lens. But I ignored that too. And I just went on. And I started to question later whether it was really possible that I would go to hell for eating bacon. Or for having sex. Could something so innocent cause me an eternity of pain? Is that possible? Well, I ignored that too. I went to college where I had my first philosophy class. I learned of men and their ideas, men like Hume, Descartes, and Nietzsche. I saw thoughts that made me think, but I didn't think enough. I just went on, following, just like sheep do. And then everything changed. One day, my father hit my mother. And due to events that followed, I could no longer live with my father. So, I struck out on my own for the first time. And I isolated myself. I wanted to get my head clear. I was unsure. I wanted to contemplate. I wanted to think over what I thought I knew. What had gone wrong? One day, while doing some research on the internet, I was looking to see about criticisms of religion, since I haven't really heard any. And that's when I came across The God Delusion. By the time I finished reading that book in one day, I finally got it. I finally understood what I'd become. I was now an atheist. I had lost my religion. I could no longer believe in Islam or any other religion. My mind was truly free, and that is the story of how I became an atheist.